You're listening to The Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 in Tuscaloosa.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret? With Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell whatever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/try to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/try.
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to center and you were playing fullback up there, and I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you could you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to pick it, and our running back coach didn't take the pass. Biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. It is the eve of the biggest game of the season, Alabama versus Georgia, right here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. But we will continue the conversation from yesterday of position comparisons. Well, who has the advantage? We'll also look at some key SEC matchups and keys to victory. Remember, it is a free-for-all Friday. Make sure you get your score predictions in. It is, and the tiebreaker is Georgia total yards this week, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So remember, you can call in on the Empowerment Strategy Solutions hotlines at 205-342-9904. Kicking it over to you.
All right. Once again, welcome into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. But it's a Friday, so that means it's free-for-all Friday, brought to you by the pharmacy at Midtown. TJ and his team waiting on you, the opportunity to serve you more than your traditional pharmacy services, including, of course, your traditional pharmacy services, compounding, home delivery, immunization, long-term care, even a little help if you're having trouble in the bedroom, erectile dysfunction help as well, multi-dose packaging, and can take care of over-the-counter needs and a whole lot more. They even have some wellness classes. You can go to pharmacymidtown.com and find out more information about the pharmacy at Midtown. And you can call them at 205-579-9933. And remember, the pharmacy at Midtown brings us our free-for-all Friday, which means that we can go in just about any direction. We do have a few topics lined up for you, but we can take it in any direction you want to take it. And so the phone lines are open. The Empowerment Strategy and Solutions hotline is open for business. And you can reach us at 205-342-9904. Remember that this is the day that the Lord has made. So let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone. Be the difference. You be the difference you want to see in the world today. X.
We are going to pick up where we left off with the position comparison. And at the end, we'll take a look at who has the overall advantage. So with that, we covered quarterbacks, offensive line, defensive line yesterday. Now we're going to hit some of the skill positions. So when you look at it, Alabama's running back room might be one of the best in the country. This point blank period, when you look at what Justice Haynes and Jam Miller have done, they're both, if I'm not mistaken, they're both in the top 15 in yards per carry this year. I think it was 7.1 and 6.9 or 8.9, I think was the average between the two of them. So when you're looking at that, both have had explosive runs this year, touchdown runs of over 40 yards, and Jam has one of, 85, 90 yards in the first game of the season. So both of these guys have the ability to take it the distance at any moment when you're looking at what's going on. Georgia's running back room, in my opinion, has a lot of talent. They have ETN. They have a freshman in Frazier that was a running back that we've even heard Nick Saban said was a guy that he was trying to get to Bama last year. And Nate Frazier. I couldn't remember his first name for a second. Who has the edge in this room to you?
I don't know if there's a clear edge in this room, X, from the running back room talent. I think if you put ETN and Frazier on Bama's team, I would feel the same way I feel about the running back room as I do now, if you just swap those two guys out. That makes sense? So yeah, I would say if there's a position group that I say the two teams are evenly matched, I would say that it's probably this particular room. So with that said, you have four really good running backs in the top four guys, in my opinion. It's what the big hog mollies do up front. I think that makes the difference on which running back room has the best game. And I think, probably getting a little ahead of myself, I think that may be one of the keys to victory.
I couldn't disagree. I couldn't agree with you more with that. I think the skill sets are very similar in the running back room. Georgia is down a running back for this game, and that's Roderick Robinson, who's their big power back, 240 pounds. So I think that's going to be something to keep an eye on as we look at how this game plays out. ETN and Frazier, neither is known for their power. Frazier's more the receiving back of the two, and ETN's a scat back. So I think there might be the slight edge because, we know Jam can get in between the tackles and make things happen. So I think the offensive line will be a big part, but I don't know if the physicalness of this game will go in their favor from that position as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the upside goes to Bama, but I think how they're playing on the field, I think both of these running back rooms are good.
Right. And then move over to the wide receiver room now. With the wide receiver room, it's kind of interesting because Georgia's wide receiver room has the experience that we talk about. Now, granted, they're down a wide receiver, if potentially two. London Humphreys, the transfer from Vanderbilt, he is out with mono. And then you look at Secovier. White was just downgraded from probable to doubtful. So they're down two wide receivers. They did have Ra Thomas, who's probably going to be their best wide receiver, dismissed from the team this summer. Then you look at Alabama's room, and it's, of course, the phenom freshman Ryan Williams. You look at Bernard, and we we've talked about Law hasn't had a lot of impact, but I think that you'll start to see that more this year. So I'm giving Bama a slight lean just because of the overall depth in the room.
Yeah, I'm not going to, I think, to your point, Georgia, and I don't know that Georgia has ever really, like, receivers have ever been like their position. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I can't, they had AJ Green and Pickett, right?
Pickens, yeah.
Pickens. Those guys were kind of scary, I guess, as a whole. But it's been a while since they've, like you go into a game and you're like thinking their wide receivers are really going to hurt me, right?
Right.
And so I don't know that if that's changed going into this game. To me, they have older guys, but they don't have guys that strike fear into your heart. They don't seem to be the big play type of guys. Now, that could be by design. But right now, I would have to give Alabama's room the advantage because of what Alabama brings to the table in terms of the overall explosiveness of the room. And we haven't really talked about this. We talked about Ryan Williams and how we thought maybe he would get to play some X. But the reality of it is that dude, he's the number one guy. I mean,
without a doubt.
He is the number one guy. But I think that let me can I play a little audio for you in the wide receiver? Let me see if I can get that. Here's what I'm excited to hear, and you hit on it a little bit.
All to the offense.
I thought he played fantastic in the game. He was very physical on the perimeter, and he's somebody that's important to our offense, and that we know that the impact that he'll have with the ball and without the ball will continue to be important for us, as the season progresses, because we think he's an excellent football player, and he's good with the ball in his hands. What I think is special about him, in addition to that, is just he's exceptional without the ball, which is really the making of a great football player, which we think he is.
That was Coach Sheridan X talking about K-Law. So what we don't hear is the reason I'm going to give the wide receiver room to Alabama is these guys bought into blocking, and you wouldn't think it with this group. That's why we've had the long runs this year, is because our wide receiver room is not just good with the ball in their hands. They're good with the ball when the ball's not in their hands. And the leader of that group and pack in that regards is K-Law. So K-Law, to me, kind of takes it over the top.
I agree. The blocking, the physicalness of this group isn't necessarily what you would immediately pop into your head. But this is the best blocking group of wide receivers Alabama's had in some years. As you can see, Jam has 2 long touchdown runs. We've talked about Justice 2 long touchdown runs. You look at Jalen's long runs this year. They're opening up holes and staying on their block so these DBs can't come off and make plays until these guys are 20, 30, 40 yards downfield. And that's what you need in the run game for explosive plays. While several of them have made explosive plays of their own in the passing game.
Agree. Let's get Chuck before we get to. No, we need to go ahead and get the break here. We'll pick up the pace on the other side in terms of the position groups, because we're getting a few questions we want to hit. Got a couple callers we want to get to on the other side. Also, the tiebreaker score prediction contest. Tiebreaker is Georgia's total yards. That's going to be the tiebreaker. Bam Bam, I got you. Bam Bam 72, I got your score. Get your score in. Call us on the Empowerment Strategies and Solutions Hotline, 205-342-9904. You're listening to the Martin Houston Show, powered by Box Eye Care, and it's Martin and Xavier, and it's a free-for-all Friday powered by the pharmacy at Midtown, pharmacymidtown.com.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, hello and good morning to you, TGIF. We do have a hiccup in the area. 2059 on the eastbound lanes at Skyland Boulevard just picked up an accident. It's got traffic already slowing down. Now, as far as the rest of the area, we're not doing too shabby. Taking a look here at our central.
Get 15% off a set of BrakeMess Select, Select Pro, or Import Direct brake pads and 2 rotors now at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Alabama and President State, where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms do apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Partly sunny and windy today. A small chance of a shower this afternoon or tonight. The high today 74, tonight's low 63. For tomorrow, a dry day, partly sunny, the high 78. Sunday, the sky mostly sunny, the high 81. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. It's a free-for-all Friday powered by the pharmacy at Midtown, pharmacymidtown.com. Hey, don't forget, save the date, December 3rd, 2024. That is the day that Empowerment Strategy and Solutions Division, Martin Houston Speaks, is bringing Live to Lead to Tuscaloosa. That's December 12th, 2024. It'll be a half-day seminar, simulcast with some of the world, not the nation's, world's best speakers, including John Maxwell, Malcolm Gladwell, and John Gordon. Look those guys up. Tell your boss that you want to be in the place and be a part of it with other great leaders around Tuscaloosa. A table of 8 is $400. Individual tickets, $70. I will be getting you, there'll be more registration information to come. In the meantime, you can email learn more at empowermentstrategy.com. Learn more at empowermentstrategy.com. We'll have more details to come. X, before we get to the callers, there was a great question regarding, I think, from Bam Bam 72. Do you think Haynes gets more than 2 touches in the game? Was it more of does Justice Haynes get more than 2 touches in this game? Was it more Jam just having a hot hand against Wisconsin?
Well, Justice had 2 carries in the game. I think we threw the ball to him 2 or 3 times as well. So I think it just will play out how the game goes. You know, whoever has the hot hand is going to be the guy that gets the ball. And then you also got to factor in Alabama's just been explosive on offense. So there's been a lot of big plays, which means for shorter number of plays and total plays in a game on drive. So I think that's part of it as well.
I think
but
they
I
have. Go ahead.
But I think I think Jam will be. I mean, Justice will be more involved off rip.
Yeah, I would say I think they have a set rotation. I think they have a set rotation, and I think that that's part of it. Also, you have to remember RPOs in option offense. Sometimes, the team dictates who carries the ball. And why they were giving Jalen the call, I don't know. But as far as the defense, but sometimes that's part of it. And then I just wonder, is he completely healthy? He had that injury this summer, and were they just trying to keep him in the rotation and trying to get him to bye week? You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if that's part of it too. I think that he's been definitely underutilized in comparison, but I don't think it's been because Jam is necessarily having a better game or he's, not effective. I think it's been rotation in play, and maybe unbeknownst to us, he made that injury he had this summer. May have kicked back up.
Yeah, that's a possibility. But moving forward, we got Chuck on the Empowerment and Strategy Solutions Hotline. How you doing this morning, Chuck?
Good morning to you all heading into the weekend. Yeah, I was just chiming in on what you all were talking about and what you said, X. I think that's what it's going to come down to tomorrow is going to be the running back room of those two teams. And you know what? You never, you talk about the strengths and weaknesses of the team. You do this pregame, but when those guys hit the field, that's when the adrenaline flow builds, and you never know how that game is going to come out.
Right. It'll be the flow of a game, and that's how things will play out with touches and carries and who's catching the ball and who's not. I wouldn't be worried about it. As long as Alabama gets the win, I think these guys will be okay with where things fall at the end of the day. Got anything else for us, Chuck?
Yeah, I'm going to end on this one. Like I said, now we want to see what Alabama's going to look like. It's the post-Nick Saban era with what Kalen DeBoer is doing. And I'm pleased with what Coach DeBoer is doing. And you're dealing with a different generation of guys. And I'm looking at how Jalen Murrow is being coached. Young man is coming in, and we like I say, as the season progresses, you never know what's going to occur. But I'm going to land on that one.
Yeah. All right, Chuck, I appreciate it, and I couldn't disagree. Couldn't agree with you more with those takes. We have Alan joining us on the hotline. How you doing this morning, Alan?
We got Robert.
I'm sorry, Robert.
Hey guys.
Hey, Robert.
Every time I hear Jam Miller's name, I was thinking about that old Teddy Riley song back in the day. You wouldn't know anything about that, Xavier, but Martin, I know. The question is, you guys probably already talked about this, but I missed it. What do you think has the most pressure on them?
We actually haven't had that conversation.
So I can ask now?
No, you go ahead. I said we haven't had that question. So you bring it up.
I thought you said this.
No, we haven't. Go ahead.
I'm thinking Kirby because, a lot of things you guys have already said. And, the person you couldn't beat was Nick Saban. That's what you want to think, Kirby. But if you lose this game today, then it starts to become this, what you can't beat is that script A. So that becomes a big issue in and of itself. Nick Saban not there, that's one thing. Nick Saban there is one thing. You couldn't beat the GOAT. You don't win this game today, tomorrow, and it's that script A you couldn't beat, not Nick Saban. So that becomes a different issue. What do you guys think?
I think it's a situation where you look at it, it's that proverbial monkey on your back, and you find out if that monkey is Alabama or if that monkey was Nick Saban. So I think Kirby is up under a lot of pressure when it comes to getting the win. Because everybody has said, it's because of Nick Saban, this, Nick Saban, that. Well, you lose this game tomorrow? No, it's Alabama, and you're still going to be viewed as second fiddle when it comes to the SEC moving forward because of it.
And Robert, I'll add this, kind of hit a couple things pretty quick and let you respond. But I think there's a lot at stake for Kirby and Georgia. And here's what I say. Was it a Saban problem or is it a Georgia versus Alabama problem? Because they won one game against Alabama in the last 9 or something like that, and Kirby's lost 5 of those. So is it a Georgia versus Alabama or is it Kirby versus Saban? That'll be potentially resolved Saturday. It is for the last two years. It's been Georgia has replaced Alabama as the gold standard, right? Well, if you go back and look, the only time Kirby has beaten Alabama, yeah, he won a national title, but it was after Alabama had spanked him in the SEC championship game and then lost their 2 starting receivers, right? That's the only time he's beaten Alabama. And then he's been on this unbelievable run, right? They always talk about the unbelievable run, but he has 2 losses that bookend that unbelievable run, and that's Alabama. So if Alabama beats him, they haven't replaced Alabama, right? I mean, the only reason you've had the run you had, Kirby, is the SEC didn't put Alabama on your schedule, is what the narrative becomes. Number 3 is recruiting. You now go, hold on. I'm not going to choose Georgia from an offensive standpoint already. If Alabama beats him, now we can go head-to-head. Because if you look at the current rosters, and these numbers may be off by a little bit, Alabama has 15 5-stars right now. Georgia has 14. Alabama has 54 stars, I think they had. Georgia had 55. And then the other one, I can't remember. It was one other stat, and they were one off. And so now, and watch this. If he beats Kirby, okay, he would have beaten Kirby, Lanning, and Sarkisian.
Yep.
Okay.
The Mount Rushmore college football coach right now.
Right. And now the only coach that he would have and USC. So who's the other top coaches that they consider out there? Ryan Day, which if he beats Kirby and goes on and win, he'll get his chance to beat him. So this dude could quickly, with a win Saturday, Robert, the board could be positioned to have beaten every top coach in the country if Alabama were to run the table. I mean, literally, let that sink in. And if we don't win, and it's a close game, it's still not going to be a negative on Alabama, right?
No, right.
Yeah, Alabama fans will probably act stupid if it's a close game. If we get blown out, it's a different story. But if it's a close game and we lose, as far as the nation concerned, that's not going to hurt DeBoer in Alabama moving forward. This is year 1, right? So I'm telling you, Kirby has all the pressure, in my opinion.
You know, one of the things that was brought up, and I think I heard Josh Tate talk about it too, is this they say it's a play-in game, but it's not necessarily because it's plenty of time for the loser to recover. But all of a sudden, the loser of this game's 3-loss potential jumps up quite a bit. That's one of your mulligans gone now. Nice. And you got some games on that schedule that if you don't play well, you can lose 2 of them, 2 additional ones on top of that. So there's that pressure for the loser. It's all of a sudden there's no way going to lose 3 games. That sure becomes likely if you lose this game, and you got Tennessee and LSU can slip up, especially in Baton Rouge. Auburn, I have to figure out Auburn.
Listen to what Georgia has if they lose. If Alabama beats them, then they're going to have to go to Texas.
Yeah.
To Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
And then play Tennessee. And Ole Miss and Tennessee are back-to-back weeks.
That becomes a schedule that can slip up on you quick.
and Georgia's not had to play like that. Georgia's never had to play that type of schedule.
No, they have. Alabama has. And
right.
I don't know if 3 games puts them out. But your case is really tough when you lose 3 to make that playoff.
Yes, it is.
All right, guys.
All right, thanks. Hey, Robert, you got a score before you get out of here? I got your score. 30 to 20, 30, 23, right. 315. Got you. Thanks, man.
All right.
All right, come back on the other side, X. We got to do a little rapid fire. We got a couple other callers in there, but we'll go ahead and get the break here. Thanks for supporting the Martin Houston Show. Make sure you go support those who support us, like Dixie Battery Supply. Dixie Battery Supply, you can find them on the internet, on the web at DixieBatterySupply.com. You can call them at 205-758-9190. Find the commercial batteries you're after. Dixie Battery Supply takes care of all your battery needs. Power up any device. Come by the store in Tuscaloosa and or Northport. Never feel powerless again. Stock up with batteries from the Dixie Battery Supply store. And, hey, while you're there, ask them about those golf carts that they can provide to you as well. We'll be back on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, hello and good morning to you, TGIF. We do have a hiccup in the area. 2059 on the eastbound lanes at Skyland Boulevard just picked up an accident. It's got traffic already slowing down. Now, as far as the rest of the area, we're not doing too shabby. Taking a look here at our central.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret? With Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell whatever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/try to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/try.
This weekend, Fridays at the Free, every Friday during football season with Tide 100.9 and Innisfree Irish Pub, located at 1925 University Boulevard, downtown.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show, powered by Box Eye Care. It is a free-for-all Friday, powered by the pharmacy at Midtown, the pharmacy at Midtown, pharmacymidtown.com. And hey, listen, go check out Houston Hydro Steam. That's a brother from another mother, Houston Hydro Steam, 205-553-9460. You can find them online at HoustonHydroSteam.com. Quality work you can stand on. As Houston Hydro Steam, it's what you can expect when you deal with those guys is great service. They can handle Oriental rugs, carpet upholstery, residential and commercial water damage, deodorizing, fabric protection, towel and grout cleaning, and emergency services are available. So put this number in your phone, 205-553-9460. That's HoustonHydroSteam.com. X.
As we kick off the second half, we still got some callers to get to. We've got Tommy from Romulus. How you doing this morning, Tommy?
I'm doing great, guys. How are y'all?
Doing good.
Great. Well, the key tomorrow is for Alabama is the Milrose, and we can keep down the turnovers. I believe is going to be up to the quarterback managing the game for tomorrow. I mean, you have hit it on the nail, the other segment, Martin. I'm like, the national media is making this out to be a do and die for our coach at Alabama. If he don't win this game, his longevity at Alabama will be destroyed.
Tommy, I actually say the opposite. I think the Alabama fans panic. I don't think the national media, if we get blown out, then that'll be the narrative. If it's a good game, I think that I'm sorry if you misunderstood. I think that the national media will be kinder to DeBoer on a loss than Alabama fans will.
Well, that's true, but I've heard some of them when I watched the Temple and Army game last night. This is a must-win for Caleb DeBoer. I'm like, no, it's not. It's his first year. Let the points he made out. He can beat Landon twice. He can beat Stark. I mean, and he beat Lincoln Riley. I'm like, that's a pretty good resident for a 49-year-old head coach. I mean, because as a young coach, I'm like,
he he beat the three guys who were top candidates for this job. That was three of the top candidates for the Alabama job, and he has a 5-0 record against them.
Yeah, but I just get this feeling, Martin, that they want to see Alabama fall flat on their face.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course they do.
Well, it's just like they sit there saying, well, really, if he don't win, Nick Saban, the GOAT, is gone, and all this. And, you know, I've heard some people, and it was Alabama fan too, I've been on their backside, like somebody first at the first game complained like, he wore black or he wore gray. He dressed completely different. I'm like, let the man be himself. I'm very.
I mean, Tommy, people are going to have their own opinions about it. At the end of the day, it's game 4 of the DeBoer era, and I believe Alabama can win this game wholeheartedly. But I'm not going to hold this one game to the future of Alabama with DeBoer and what he's able to do here. I think that it will be a competitive game. I think Alabama will come out on top, and I think that'll kind of nip it in the bud regardless of an Alabama win or not. But we appreciate it, man. We got to get to some other callers.
Do you have a score? Do you have a score, Tommy?
Oh, yeah. Alabama 31, Georgia 17.
And total yards?
315.
Thank you, Tommy.
All right. We have Alan joining us on the line to talk about the game. How you doing this morning, Alan?
All right. I wasn't calling in this morning, but since you talked me up, I said I might as well go ahead and call now. I just totally think, I agree with you, Martin. I agree with both of y'all. This is if win or lose, as long as he has a good showing, it's going to show where we're at. I mean, if Georgia's supposed to be the yardstick right now, whether like I said, we win or lose, it shows where we're supposed to be at right now. And I think we're at a good place because, in my opinion, under Coach Saban, we were with him not willing to change a lot of things. We were declining, and I hate to say that, but I thought we was on the decline to a certain extent. But we'll see Saturday.
I don't disagree with that.
I mean, I think he kind of nailed it on that one. Alan, have you given us a score yet?
Nah. I'm gonna say Bama. Say 31-21, Bama.
31-21, Bama. I appreciate you, Alan.
Total yards, Alan. Tiebreaker.
No, I don't get into I don't get into the yards thing. So let's say 500.
All right, thanks, sir. Hey, if you win, Alan, if it's a tie, I got to break the tie, man. I don't want you to lose if you win. If you tie,
okay,
all right, man, have a good one.
Okay,
all right, we have Denon on the line now, talking about the game this weekend. How you doing this morning, Denon?
Hey, doing good, Martin. Good morning, y'all guys. How y'all doing? This is Denon.
Doing good.
Man, y'all are all up in my notes here. Y'all stealing my thunder. I mean, I ain't gonna say thunder. Y'all hitting everything on the head. Everybody from Tommy to the previous caller, I'm like, y'all. I mean, everybody's pulling this up to be the Super Bowl, which is beginning to look like it was the guests in town and people.
Let me ask you this, Dina, and see what you think on this. We've talked about it being a comparison and all that, but how big a deal will this be if the following happens? Alabama wins, DeBoer's offense lights up Georgia's defense, who hasn't given up a touchdown. How big a deal will that all be if that plays out? Does DeBoer become the de facto head man in college football? Because he doesn't just beat him. If he doesn't just beat him, but Alabama has an offensive explosion.
In a lot of eyes, it will. Bama fans will go ballistic, but from a national standpoint, you'll still have those out there that says, well, Georgia wouldn't. I mean, they struggle against against Kentucky. They'll spin it some way.
But they didn't give up a touchdown. And that's why I threw that piece in. This is the new age of football versus the old school. Okay?
Well, it would definitely open the eye. It'll open their eyes for sure. And I think we would become. I think people across the nation will roll their eyes and say, "Look, you just can't." I mean, Bama just reloaded from top to bottom, and they're still there. And think about this, like everybody's saying, there is no pressure. There's no more pressure in this game than what Kalen DeBoer is going to put on himself and the staff, because I think he has the ability to keep these players loose mentally, but at the same time challenging them. I mean, from what I've seen. And kind of like what y'all just hinted at, I mean, somebody knocked it out of the park a little bit. I think I still say Saban's inability, or no, maybe unwillingness to adjust is going to be what Kalen DeBoer's strength is. He'll shift what he needs to. I got a good confidence in the game, winning the game. Defensively, I'm just, I don't know scheme and everything. We'll find out a lot about our defense this weekend. But it seems like the weather is going to be great. I mean, the wind is killing right now, but I'm headed in. Finally got my 5 days off, so I'm sort of like, hey, I'm going to get out this morning. I'm going to stay in the house till about Sunday morning because the traffic is getting bad. But hey, I think it's all coming together, and prayers out there for those folks over from all the way from Florida through Georgia into Tennessee is going to be affected by all this. I mean, like I said, the wind's not as bad as I thought it was going to be this morning, but it's getting there. But looking forward to the game. I think we're going to pull this thing out, and I think Kalen DeBoer always had the ability. He shows up in a big game. I think they look at his mild manneredness, I guess, laid back, kind of like Tommy said. Hey, he don't dress up. He is just himself. But I think in the back of the mind, I think the true Kalen DeBoer, we don't get to see. The media don't even get to see it. I think it's behind those closed doors of these guys when they're out there. It might be a different Kalen DeBoer than what we see publicly. And I think the players can respect that,
I think it's the same. I just think he has intense moments, D9. I think people – I don't think you see a lot of different – everything I've heard is he's the clear leader. But you don't do that. You don't have to be different to do that.
No.
What we see on Saturday is he allows his coaches to coach. They bring the intensity and the up and down emotion. He's even keel, and I think you see that in Jalen Milroe reflecting his head coach. You got a score for us, D9?
Yeah, let's go 41-28, Bama.
Total yards.
425.
All right, thanks, D9. All right, man. Appreciate you. Hey, stay safe out there, man. All right, let's get out of here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get Pat before we get the break.
All right. Pat, how you doing this morning? What you got for us?
Morning, guys. Hey, keys to victory, a tenacious defense, and running back room. My question is, how healthy is our third string running back? Is he going to be able to play in this game? What's the latest?
I don't think he gets to the field regardless, unless we're blowing him out. The third.
Yeah, I think
unless somebody's
on jam and justice.
I don't see him playing this week, unless one of those two guys get hurt.
Well, that's my question. I mean, we one play away from needing a third string and a fourth string running back.
Yeah, but you're always one play from that, Pat. I don't think he goes in those moments. I think that Jam gets a whole lot, and we go to who's the guy behind him? I think Daniel
Hill.
Yeah, so
okay.
I mean, Pat, I mean, not trying to be ugly. if we're depending on our third string running back against Georgia, we're going to be in trouble, regardless of whether it's due to injury or not.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm not being ugly with that. I think the young man's going to be good. Don't hear me saying that, but I just don't know that we're at that point yet. So that's just pray
How about that? I think this defense is going to be tenacious, though, that we're going to disrupt the quarterback. We may not have that many sacks, but we're going to make him run for his life.
I think we get Beck off of his spot consistently. Appreciate it, Pat. We got to get the break.
Yep. Y'all have a blessed one.
Thank you, sir. Be safe out there. Stay dry, Pat. We'll be back on the other side, guys. Thanks for being a part of the show. Hey, don't forget North River Timber Company. North River Timber Company, NorthRiverTimberCO@gmail.com, or call Courtney White, 205-242-5127. Timber harvesting, appraisals, and land management in West Alabama and East Mississippi. We'll be back on the other side to do a little rapid fire, couple of big games around the SEC, our keys to victory for Alabama, and we'll give you our score. Thanks for being a part of the program.
Go inside the Alabama Crimson Tide with the Gary Harris Show.
Hey, everybody, it's Gary Harris. Friday morning, it's the TGIF edition of the Gary Harris Show live from Innisfree Irish Pub beginning at 9 a.m. We're going to have our Bama Sports Trivia giveaway, going to give away that 2nd and 26 print from the National Championship game against Georgia with Tua and Devontae Smith. Great guest, SEC point spread predictions, and more. That's Friday morning at 9 a.m. live from Innisfree Irish Pub, the Gary Harris Show.
Catch the Gary Harris Show Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. on Tide 100.9 and Tide100.9.com.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, hello and TGIF to you. I am getting reports of an accident on 2059 eastbound lanes at Skyland Boulevard. What I'm seeing here is most of your delays thicker on Skyland Boulevard, but 2059 itself, that's not too shabby. As a matter of fact, 2059 is pretty green for
ZipRecruiter. Get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston.
Back into the Martin Houston Show as we get ready to have the Harvest 2-minute warning as we close out this one. Got some rapid fire to get to, but before we get to that, we've got to get to Tyler from Tuscaloosa on the hotline. Tyler, you still with us? Going once, going twice. Sold. All right. So as we get ready to get into this rapid fire, we have the linebackers and the defensive backs to cover.
Go ahead.
And we have the linebackers and DBs to cover. Bama, I'm taking the edge with the depth at linebacker. When you look at Coe, Russaw, Robinson coming off of the edge, and then you look at not only Jefferson, you have Jefferson backing up Campbell and Lawson. And Jeremiah Alexander is supposed to be back this week, so that adds a little bit more depth for that linebacker room with Alabama.
I'm giving them the edge. I'm giving Alabama the edge at linebacker as well. I do think that Georgia has one defensive. He seems to be the playmaker. He was the only one that made a little noise. Their outside linebacker, like I said, I didn't verify his name from. I think it's Walker, number 11. Yeah, he seemed to have been a playmaker in that Kentucky game, and even had a couple of bad breaks where I don't know what else he could have done, where he sacked the quarterback and they called a personal foul and all of that. So anyway, I got Bama edge. And
when it comes to the DBs, on this one I'm giving a slight slight edge to Georgia just because of their experience and their depth. We've got some really good playmakers, but they're all young.
Well, and how deep is Georgia? They lost their best corner last year. They have a couple safeties that are good. But are their corners really that much more experienced than Alabama's? Or they just been at Georgia longer? And that matters. Culture matters. But Dominique Jackson has experience. Alabama didn't have a lot of starters at Alabama, but they have a lot of experience in those cornerbacks. And like I said, Xavier just came in and beat out the dude that they thought they were bringing in to be the starter. So, this would be a slight edge to Georgia or a toss-up. X.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of getting at. But hey, we've got some.
Let's get to let's do the Alabama game, and then if we have time, we'll do the SEC games.
So with the Alabama Georgia, what are your keys to victory?
Well, first of all, I'm going to start with something that nobody's talking about. I think special teams will play a role. I think especially early. I'm not expecting – now, if we come out and just go all off on offense, I'm okay with that. But I think it could be a back and forth, and two guys from down under could be the difference early in the game. Thorson for them and Burnett for us. Thorson doesn't – I don't think he has the leg strength as far as distance as Burnett.
His hang time is crazy, though.
Yeah, they haven't had a punt returned in 2 years. So I think those two guys, but that doesn't necessarily flip the field. And so I give a slight edge to Burnett. And I think early on, if Alabama's defense can play well and we can get our punt game going with offense while we figure it out, we can get Georgia in some long drive situations, and all of a sudden Alabama can do some things offensively. I think that's huge special team. I hate the fact our kicker hasn't kicked the field goal in a game and made it.
He's kicked one. I was going to say he kicked one, he just didn't make it.
I said and made it. So that's concerning that this game. So I don't want it to come down to a field goal kick. Little concern there. But the other keys, X, is we've talked about it. The trenches, I think is huge. And then it goes to the coaches. It goes to play calling. I'm going to take our guy Sheridan and DeBoer over Schumann, and I'm going to take Womack over Bobo. And I think the fact that we know more about what Kirby wants to do than they know about what we want to do, I think it's Alabama.
And I'm going to agree with all of those factors. I think it comes down to play calling, but the trenches is definitely where it's won. And I can definitely see Thorson and Burnett setting things up early across the course of this game. And then, of course, the quarterback play. Whichever quarterback plays the cleaner game will be the team that wins the game at the end of the day. But are there any SEC games that you wanted to hit real quick?
We need to get the score.
Score. I am going to go 27-21 Alabama, and I think Georgia will have 3-31.
All right. I'm going to give Alabama a little bit more of that, and I'm going to give our kicker a couple of field goals. So I have it getting to 34. And hey, listen, I'm going to give Georgia some love, 24, but I think Alabama gets it, and I have them getting 301. All right? X.
All right. So with big games, Oklahoma versus Auburn real quick. Your phone says then you have
Kentucky and Ole Miss.
The only big SEC game. Texas A&M, Arkansas.
I got A&M. Who you got? Does Ole Miss show up the way they've been showing up versus Kentucky?
No, they do not. Kentucky has a really good defense, and I think they struggle a little bit, but I think they get the win.
All right, yeah, I agree. I was gonna call for an upset, but I'm gonna pass. And Mississippi State upsets Texas. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, man. Hey, we appreciate all of you for being a part of the program. That's Xavier Houston. That's Chase Brumfield. I'm Mark Houston. Remember this, trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, he will direct your paths. We'll be back on Monday, hopefully to talk about the Bama big win, and the tide has risen back to the top of the college football world. Alabama 34, Georgia 24. My score, Xavier 27-21. We'll talk about it on Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel, 6 a.m.
Get 15% off a set of BrakeMess Select, Select Pro, or Import Direct brake pads and 2 rotors now at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.